Hi, welcome to ArkIntel. A manager shows up for work only to find the doors locked. Staff stand outside confused, clutching their aprons and pay stubs. Customers pull on the handles of a restaurant they've been coming to for years. No warning, no explanation, just closed. This is happening across the country. TGI Fridays is shutting down. Red Lobster has collapsed. Casual dining chains are vanishing overnight. In 2024 alone, more than 200 restaurant and bar companies filed for bankruptcy, the highest number in a decade, including the 2020 pandemic crash. 21 of them were chains. 10 of them were owned by private equity firms. It's a pattern. One after another, iconic restaurants are being swallowed up, loaded with debt, and then left to rot. These aren't just bad business decisions. This is a calculated strategy. A financial game played by billion-dollar firms, where the restaurant industry is just another asset to exploit. And if history is any indication, this is just the beginning. Private equity firms don't buy companies for the love of food. They buy them to make money. Some purchases are based on potential. Others are gambles on a turnaround. Either way, the goal is the same. Flip the business within 5 to 8 years, cash out and move on. One of their favorite tactics? Leveraged buyouts. Instead of using their own money, private equity firms borrow massive amounts to buy the company. The business itself becomes collateral for the loan. From day one, the company is buried in debt. The only way to survive is through consistent, high cash flow. Restaurants seem like the perfect target. Money comes in daily, customers eat every night, and locations stay busy. But here's the problem. If the economy shifts, if interest rates rise, if consumers pull back, everything collapses. Between 2022 and 2023, interest rates were raised 11 times. Loans became more expensive. Profits shrank. In 2024, overall leveraged buyouts (LBOs) in the US declined by 5%, but in the restaurant and bar industry, they surged by 41%. By 2023, 2/3 of all LBO defaults were from companies backed by private equity firms. Red Lobster was a powerhouse. 36,000 employees, 64 million customers a year, over 600 locations. Then came the sale. In 2014, Golden Gate Capital bought Red Lobster for $2.1 billion. At the same time, a $1.5 billion sale-leaseback deal was executed. Instead of owning their restaurant locations, Red Lobster became a tenant. Rent had to be paid on top of the crushing debt. The private equity firm cashed out. In 2020, Golden Gate sold its remaining stake to a group led by Thai Union, the company that supplied Red Lobster's seafood. At the time, Red Lobster had a $380 million loan due the next year. The company refinanced, but it only delayed the inevitable. By May 2024, nearly half of its unpaid bills were 91 days overdue, according to CreditSafe. Red Lobster filed for bankruptcy. TGI Fridays had 500 locations in 2014. By the time it declared bankruptcy in 2024, only 135 remained. Its private equity owners sold off company-owned locations to franchisees to reduce debt. The goal? Cut costs. But it came at a price. Selling locations stripped the company of assets. There was no safety net, no backup plan. A $450 million restructuring deal was supposed to fix things, but the company failed to meet the sales targets required to make the plan work. Instead of stabilizing operations, the restructuring only delayed the inevitable, as declining foot traffic and rising costs continued to erode profits. The brand, once a pioneer of casual dining, became yet another casualty of short-term financial engineering. Debt crushed the company. With nothing left to prop it up, TGI Fridays collapsed. Private equity firms use three main tactics to squeeze money from businesses before moving on. A common move: sale-leasebacks. The company sells off valuable real estate, then leases it back at a cost. Red Robin pulled this move too, selling nearly 30 locations for $84 million across 3 separate deals. The short-term benefit is quick cash, but there is a long-term problem. The company now has rent to pay on buildings it used to own outright. Rather than improving a struggling chain, some private equity firms buy up competing brands. ArkIntel has perfected this. By 2025, they own 20 restaurant chains. In 2024, they bought Subway. Now they control multiple sandwich brands. With more control, they can raise prices, cut wages, and lower service quality, and customers have fewer options to turn to. ArkIntel has already been accused of cutting service and lowering the quality of food at its other brands. The firm also played a role in blocking legislation in 2021 that would have raised the federal minimum wage to $15. With 2/3 of leveraged buyouts failing in 2023, the pattern is clear. Private equity loads companies with debt. Executives and investors make their money. If the businesses can't survive, they just move on. Casual dining is in trouble. Fast food and takeout chains are dominating. New regulations in 2025 will force private equity firms to disclose more details about their investments and identify their investors. These changes will also require firms to be more transparent about how they structure acquisitions. Some believe this will slow down aggressive buyouts. Others say it won't make a difference. Meanwhile, private equity is already looking for its next target. Red Lobster exited bankruptcy in September 2024. The buyer? Another private equity firm. Another buyout, another cycle of cost cutting, another brand set up for failure. Red Lobster's doors may open again, but not because it was saved, because it was bought again. Another private equity firm has stepped in, taking over what was left, loading it with even more debt, and squeezing it for every last cent before moving on. TGI Fridays name still exists, but its footprint is shrinking. The casual dining experience that once thrived across America is dying off. Meanwhile, the firms behind these takeovers are already making their next move. Another deal, another acquisition, another brand getting swallowed whole. The restaurant industry is being reshaped, not by chefs, not by customers, but by Wall Street investors who will never step foot inside the restaurants they own. How many more chains will disappear before the cycle is broken? And when the dust settles, what will be left of the American dining experience? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And thanks for watching.